Hello student, for your BCSL 034 lab practical questions, I am going to solve this particular question. So you can see, create the following table with the fields given below. So we have to use the Microsoft Access application to solve this question, right? So once we learn how to create table, this is very common questions that comes in your practical lab exam. So you have to create a table. So you can see two table we have to create. One table is employee table, and in that table we have this fields. Another table is department table, and in the department table we will have this three fields. Okay, so while we are going to prepare these two tables, we have to keep in mind that select appropriate primary keys. So for these two tables we should select a primary key. Okay, and also you have to add 5 meaningful record in the table, right? So and also you have to select appropriate data type for the given fields. So let us solve the first question. So once I will solve this question, you will understand how you can create the table in Microsoft Access. So whatever question that will be given to you to create table, you can just simply create any table. Okay, so let me start. So first I will open the Microsoft Access. So you can see, this is the Microsoft Access application, Access application. The first step that you have to do, that is creating database. First step, creating database. So you can see, this is a blank database that we are going to create, right? And we have to click here to create the database, and here it is location, right? So where the database will be saved. So we can select a particular location where this database will be saved from here, right? Browse. So let me save the database at the desktop. In our desktop we are going to create the database. And now what will be the name of the database? So let me give the name of the database, that is BCSL, right? 034. So this will be the name of the database. Okay, so we have created this database. Fine, right? So click the create, and we have successfully created the database. So let me show you, in the desktop I have created the database. So I will minimize this access and also this browser to show you the database. So you can see, this is the database which we have created, right? Now in the database, this is database in our desktop we have created. And now inside the database which we have created, we have to create two tables. So you can see, we have to create two tables. The first table will be employee table, and the second one will be department table. So let us first create the first table, right? To create the first table, here we have the table option, right? Table. So what I will be doing here, I will just double click to it, right? And I will do one thing, go to view option, and in the view option there are two options available, right? In the view tab, under the view tab we have two options, right? The first one is data sheet view, right? Another is design view. So we will go to the design view, right? Now after clicking the design view, here it is shown the table name. So we have to give the table name. So by default the table name was table 1, right? So we can change the table name. We will give the table name as employee, EMPLOYEE, right? So we have created the table. This is the table name, employee, right? Now inside this table which we have created, there will be this many fields. So let us start with this field EID. So this is the first, and this will be the primary key, EID. So let me write here EID. So this is the primary key, you can see. So at the left we have a key. So this key will indicate this particular field as the primary key, right? Fine. Now you can see the data type is auto numbering, so number will be given automatically, right? Auto numbering. Now here we are going to add name, age, address, salary, right? Name, age, address, salary. So name, right? For the name, the data type will be text, right? Text. Now age, so age will be number, so the data type will not be text, data type will be number, right? So now we can see address and salary. Address will be automatically text. Now salary will not be text, it will be number always. Salary will be entered in number, and after salary the department ID, right? DIP ID. So again this will be the number. So we have created the table, right? Now we have to save the table, right? So we have to save the table. Okay, so now you will double click to this table and you can see you must first save this one. I will click yes. So now the table has been saved. So now we have to add some data over here, right? Because in the question it has been asked that at least 5 meaningful record we should enter in the table, right? So before I start adding the input to that table, I will create this table, second one. After that I will add data, right? Now I will not add data. Now I will create another table. Let me go to create option, right? Create table, and you can see the table has been created. This one table, new one. I will just double click to this table and I will choose the option view, and I will now select this design view. So here I will give the name of the table, this table which I am just going to create. The name will be department. So the department table has been created, right? Now, so in the department table there are, you can see there I have to add 2 columns. The first one will be department ID and another will be name, another will be city. That means 3 columns, 3 fields. So DIP, department ID, right? So it will be number. Now name, department name, it will be text, and city will be text, right? Now here I will select this employee. Now I will go to this data sheet view, right? Before I move to the data sheet view, I have to save the file. Fine. Now you can see this structure has been created. Now I will first add data to this department table. After that I will add data to the employee table. So the department ID will be 1001, right? So while adding the data to the table, we have to keep in mind this question number 2. So this question number 2 is related to the question number 1, right? So it has been asked in the question number 2 that for the table that we have designed in the question number 1, so this is related to these 2 tables. So you have to answer the following SQL queries, right? So now to answer this following SQL query, you can see we have to display department ID of all department where the city is Delhi. That means, so in the city, so the city column which we have created for the department table, we have to at least add a data of Delhi. Delhi should be added as a data, right? So we should add this. We can add many other city, but this city we should add at least once, right? See, now second question, display name age of employees working in department ID 001. So department ID should be of any number, but this number should be there, this number should be added, right? And you can see, and their salary is more than 10,000. So that means we have to add the salary, we have to add the salary here in this employee table. In this employee table we have to add the salary where the salary will be more than 10,000. At least for 1 or 2 employee we have to add the salary more than 10,000, then only we can execute this query, right? See, find total number of employees whose salary is less than 50,000. So to execute this query we also need to add the salary range that will be below 50,000 and also more than 50,000, sorry, more than 10,000. So the salary which we are going to add, some salary of employees should be more than 10,000 and less than 50,000, then only we can execute these two query. And the employee salary whose salary will be more than 10,000, the department ID must be 001, right? And you can see display name and salary of the employees whose age is more than 50. That means to execute this query there should be employees in the tables whose age must be more than 50 years, right? So, and the last one you can see, display the employee ID of all employees who work in the department 1101. That means we also need to add this particular department ID, that is 1101, otherwise we can't execute this query, right? So according to this 5 condition of given queries we have to add the data in the database, right? So let us start. So in the department, first here we are going to add, you can see 1001, department name will be say sales, right? Sales. City will be say KOLKATA, Kolkata, right? Now department name will be say 1101, right? So 1101, and it is also sales, right? And this department is at Pune, right? And another department, let's say 10011, right? And this is accounts, and this is LASSAM, Assam. Another department, say 11011. So this is, we are adding this department, right? Now this department, let's say purchase, and this is at Guwahati. So we have 2 sales department at the Kolkata and Pune, and these are the department ID. We also have this department, that is accounts, at Assam, and we have a purchase department, right? So now we have added 4 rows of data in this department table, right? So now we are going to add data to this employee table, right? See, so let us write the name of the employees. Let's say SUHANT, Sushant Sen. Now the age, let's say 55, right? Address, let's say Pune, right? And salary. So if we see the question which was asked here, so display name and salary of all the employees whose age is more than 50. So let me add the data for this, for running this particular query, right? So I have given the age 55, that is over 50, right? And the, you can see employees, what should be displayed? Employee, age, salary will be displayed. So let me add the salary. Let salary 25,000, right? 25,000, and give department ID 1001. Fine. Now let's say RAMESHWAR, Rameshwar Gupta. Rameshwar Gupta. I also give the age 52, and this person is staying at Kolkata, and his salary will be, let's say 28,000, and department ID I will give 1001, department ID 1001. So if you see the questions, so if we execute this query, then it will run successfully, right? And you can see if we execute this query, display name and age of the employees working in department 1001 and salary is more than 10,000. So you can see this query will also execute, because you can see salary, that is I have given over here, that is more than 10,000, and department ID 101. So it has been asked the department ID should be 101. Fine, right? Now here I will add Monashi Gupta, age 28, staying at Simla, and salary will be 8,000, department will be 101. So this is 8,000, which is below 10,000, so this will not be shown while I will be running this query. Fine. Now let's put some data for this query, Delhi, right? So display name and department ID of all the departments. This name should be displayed, and department ID, right? Name and department ID of all departments in Delhi city. So let me check out in this department table. So we have to add city Delhi, right? If I write here 1111, right? And sales city Delhi, and if I write 1101 purchase, it is also at Delhi. So fine, these two will execute, this two row will execute for the for that particular question. So you can see, so when this will be, this query will be executed, those two row will be fetched from the database. Fine. Now you have to add data for this one, display name and age. This has been done. Now find total number of employee whose salary is less than 50,000, right? So we also need to add data for employees whose salary must exceed 50,000, right? So let me add some data here for the employee table. Fine. Now here I will give the age 32, staying at Kolkata, and salary will be, let's say, 52,000, and department ID will be 1101. So let me see 1101 is there or not. 1101. Fine. And Rajesh Gupta, age 20, staying at Darjeeling, earning 25,000. Okay, 24,000, and so this working at this one, right? And Sima Mondol, age, let's say 48, working at Kolkata, earning the salary of 55,000, working at 11011, right? So working at 11011, now 10011. So Mukesh Gupta, age, let's say 19, working at Assam, he is earning the salary of 18,000. Okay, so now 1011. So okay, so let me check all these department ID which I have written in the department table have been used in the employee table or not. So 1001, is it there? 1001 is, it is here. So 1101, let me find 1101. Fine. Then 1011, 10011, 1, no, that is not here. So let me write now. Meena Kumari, age 58, working at Assam, earning the salary of 56,000, and you can see 1011. So let me find. So 1011. Now 11011 is that here. 11011 is found, and 41 and 1101. So 41 and 1101. Okay, fine. So you can see I have entered the detail of 8 employees in this employee detail, right? And in the department I have entered 6 records, right? 6 records that I have entered in the department table, and in the employee table I have inserted 8 records. So you can see we have been asked here, at least we need to enter 5 meaningful records, right? So fine. So we have done everything properly. So now we have to run the execute. So the first question we have done properly, and all the steps which I have shown to you, you have to write in your answer sheet properly along with the practical implementation. Now we are going to execute all the queries, right? So let me show you how to run the queries. So you can see I will go to the create option. So create, here query design, you have to design the query, right? So we have to add this to table, both the table, right? So from the this option create query design, then we have to select the table and add. So we have added this to table. So one thing, can you see over here that department ID, that was the primary key. So department ID, it is the primary key for the department table, and for the employee table, that is going to be the foreign key, right? So foreign key will refer as the primary key for the department table, right? So it will refer as the primary key for the department table, right? And here it will be referred the same as a foreign key. This is the relation between primary key and foreign key. So primary key of one table will be the foreign key of another table, right? And for this employee table, we can see employee ID, that will be the primary key. And we know very well that for the primary key, the duplicate value cannot be entered, right? So while we are entering the value, we have observed that there are no duplicate records, right? Fine. So now we have to execute all the queries for this question number 2. So how you can execute the query, let me show you. First, here in this panel, I will click here table. So I will add all the tables. So let me first add the department table, right? So 3 times I have added in 3 column department. Why? Because for the department we have 3 field, right? So let me add the field over here. So here I will add the first one, department ID, right? This one. Here I will add the second one, name, right? And here I will add the third one, city, right? Fine. 3 fields I have added, right? Now here first I will add the employee table, this employee table. So how many fields are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times I will add the employee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 times I have added this. Fine. Now you can see over here, first I will add the EID, employee ID. Now I will add the name. Here I will add the age, and now I will add the address. Here I will add the, after address, salary, and the last but not the least, I will add the department ID. So that is the department ID is the foreign key of the employee table, which will refer to the primary key of the department table. Fine. Now we can see, to execute the first question here, display the name and department ID. So to execute the first query, we have to display 2 things. The first one is name and the second one is department ID. So you can see department ID and name, that will be shown. So this is the department ID, this will be shown, and the name of the department, that will also be shown. Other will not be shown. This thing will not be shown, right? You can see show, SHOW. So only these 2 will be shown, other will not be shown, right? So now you can see the condition is that city is Delhi. So city must be Delhi. So only Delhi city, department name and department ID will be shown, right? So we can see city. So criteria, the criteria that has been given, that this city must be DELHI. Criteria that has been given over here, that city must be DELHI. Fine. So now see, but this will not be shown. this will not be shown. That is why I have not given the tick over here. Only this will act as the criteria. The criteria must be Delhi. For running this query, all the name and the department will be shown, where the city is Delhi. So in the Delhi city, all the department name with ID, that will be shown. Now let me run the query. To run the query, I will just click here, run. Now you can see over here that only one sales department, that is at the Delhi city, right? And the department ID is 1111. Fine. So this is the query which we have executed. So successfully we have executed the first query, right? So let me check, is it correct or not, that there are only one department at Delhi. So if I click here, so this is the query. Now let me check in the department table. Right? So if I just tick it over here, give the tick over here, let me run again the query. So now if I run again, you can see the sales department that has been shown, the sales department, right? So this particular department has been shown. The last department, this particular row, that has not been shown. Why? I don't think it has been saved. This particular row has not been saved. The changes you requested to the table were not successful because they would create duplicate values in the index, right? Fine. You can see, so wrongly I have entered duplicate value. You can see 1101. Here also I have written 1101. So that is why this is invalid. So this is invalid. So as department ID, that is primary key, so primary key cannot be duplicate. So you can see 1101. Here also I have given 1101, right? So if I will give here that 11101, now if I write here purchase and city Delhi, now let me show you. Now it will execute. Now if I go in the query again, now if I run the query, if I go to the design view to run the query again, so now you can see, so that I think this has not been saved. Let me first save this thing has to be saved first, right? Because if I now write here purchase again, and if I write this thing sale, and so we have to save the query first. Okay, now if I go in the query panel and go in the design view and execute the query, then also you can see the last row has not been affected for some reason. The last row which you have taken, that not been affected. So I can't tell you now why this row is not being affected. Okay, fine. Let me run the next query. So if you see, if I run the next query, display name and age of the employees working in department ID, right? So here I will create another query. So to create another query, again go to create option, go to query design. Okay, now I will create another query. So add both the table over here. Fine. Now repeat the step, department, and add the field department ID, name, city, and here I will add employee, 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 and here I will add employee ID, employee name, employee age, then address, salary, department ID. So let me run this one. So two criteria. The first criteria is department ID should be 1001, right? If I write here department ID, you can see department ID, so it should be 1001. This is the first criteria. So department ID must be 101. And the second criteria that has been given over here, so salary should be more than 10,000. So you can see, so the salary that should be criteria more than, salary should be more than 10,000. So fine. And display name and age of the employee. So we should display only name and age of the employee. Other detail is not required, right? All the details I did not require to show. Only name and age that will be shown. And the criteria is department ID must be 101 and salary must be more than 10,000. So let me execute. So you can see two records that has been found, right? Let me check whether it is correct or not. So whether this query has been executed correctly or not. So I will go to this employee, right? And let me check 1001. You can see 1001 according to the question 1001, right? And salary must be more than 10,000. So both of their salary, you can see both of their salary that is more than 10,000, 25,000 and 28,000. We can see 1001, and you can see 101. This has not been shown. Third row, this third row has not been shown. Why? Because salary is 8,000, which is less than 10,000. So you can see successfully executed. Only whose salary is more than 10,000, and also the person is working here in this particular department, those record has been executed in the query number 2, right? Only these two person. Why this Mona Lisa Sengupta's record has not been shown? Because her salary is less than 10,000. Her salary is 8,000. But that person is working in 101 department ID. But salary criteria has not fulfilled. Right? So now let me execute this one. Find total number of employees whose salary is less than 50,000. So again I will add another query, create and query design. I will add, so let me just add the table. Fine. Now, so which should be display? I have to display the find total number of employees whose salary is less than 50,000, right? So where is salary? Salary is less than 50,000. 1, 2, 3, right? So you can see I have to display this record over here, right? Name and salary. So if I run this, so you can see, so I have to just reverse the query whose salary is not more than, less than. So it has been asked less than 50,000, right? So you can see all the salaries of these employees are less than. So I have to count. How can I count? You can see 4 rows. This 4 count has to be shown. So if I do one thing, if I go this total, right? Total, and if I write count, so you can see 4. So this is the answer, 4. So I have counted the number of person. You can see we have to count the number of employees whose salary is less than 50,000. So you can see whose salary is less than 50,000. So number of members that we have counted, right? So we have counted that 4 employees salary that is less than 50,000. So if I go and check here in the employees table, so how many members earn salary less than 50,000? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you can see one row has not been affected. Which one? Let me check which one is not affected. So 18,000, yes, 18,000. So the last number of row that has not been executed, for some reason the last number of row has not been executed. This is this one, right? That particular row has not been executed. Okay, no problem, but this is the query which you have to run. This is how you have to run. For certain reason that has not been executed, there might be some other problem that I can explain it now, but this is how you have to run the query. So let me again execute this query. So display name and salary of all the employees whose age is more than 50 years. So now I will not create another query. In this query I will just show you. Okay, so you can see, let me go to the design view. I will do some changes. You can see the question in this question what has been asked for. So age more than 50, age more than 50, and we have to display name and salary. Name and salary that we have to display the age more than 50. So only you have to display the employee name and employee salary, okay, and whose age is more than 50, right? So you can see employee name and employee salary whose age is more than 50. So let me check. If I check out over here, you can see, so Sushant Sen, Rameshwar Gupta, Meena Kumari. Sushant Sen, Rameshwar Gupta and Meena Kumari. So Sushant Sen 55 age, Rameshwar Gupta 52 age, and Meena Kumari we can see 58 age, 58, right? 58 years old, Meena Kumari. Fine. So this question has been solved properly, and now display name and employee ID of all the employees who work in this particular department, that is 1101. So let me execute the query. Here only I will execute the query. In a design view I will just execute the query. So the criteria is department ID 1101. So department ID here 11011, right? 11011, and I have to display name and employee ID. Name and employee ID. So employee ID and name, these two thing has to be displayed. These two column that has to be displayed, and this is the criteria. Let me execute. See, Sima Mond and employee ID is 6. So let me check. Here. So if I go and check here, Sima Mond employee ID, that is 6, and department you can see 1101. Only this single person is working here in this department. So I have successfully executed all the questions. So once you understand how to create a table and execute the queries, so then by yourself you can execute any given query. So you can, whatever question will be given to you, you can solve. Okay, so fine. Thank you for watching.